Okay, finish off. We can talk about Marty Walsh, the new head of the NHLPA, had a press conference. Not everyone liked what he was talking about. First off, I want to get this out the way because it's been talked about to death. It's not happening. Marty Walsh talked about how he was open to salary cap negotiations, but he's not interested in raising the escrow.
Oh,
So basically, Alex, the $1 million salary cap increases. That's what it's going to be. If they're not willing to increase the escrow stuff, the league aren't going to answer the phone. Like I'm sure you agree with me there. It's not.
no, you're 100% right. It's both sides are so effing stupid. I just can't deal with it. Considering some of the other stuff that we're going to talk about, like one thing in particular, the fact that this $1 million is the sticking point is beyond me, to be honest. Beyond me. But that's okay. We can play in a 4,000 seat state, whatever. Sorry. We're gonna Taylor Hall can't even play because the Bruins can't take him off LTIR, but this is going to be the sticking point. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Fine.
I'm not surprised by it.
No, neither am I. But it's still frustrating.
But it kind of feels like everyone publicly is like, oh, we can do this, but I don't think there was ever really any hope of this happening. Like that's been my thought process on this all year. Is it wasn't going to go up. Like the escrow is just, it's just not. It's not good for the league. I don't get how everyone continues to the hard thing. Listen, we can have endless talks about the salary cap, but it's just I wanted to mention it and get it out the way.
Yeah, no, fair.
Talking to Pierre LeBrun, he also Marty Walsh did sort of point out, we have NHL players playing in a $4,000 not dollar, imagine in a $4,000 facility like ASU and the Coyotes. And apparently he's having a meeting with the Coyotes players, and I would assume the hockey related revenue stuff is gonna come up.
He's having a meeting about what?
I think he's like talking to the
Oh,
Coyotes players.
okay.
Which fair. He needs to talk
He
to
does.
players, and I think
No,
if there's one team you need to talk to as soon as possible,
it's them.
it's definitely the Coyotes. Not just that, but obviously they need to start figuring out why the Coyotes refuse to pay actual money and try to actually ice a hockey team.
Maybe they should figure out where they're gonna play. Like,
Yeah.
man, I don't want to listen. I'm not. Whatever. I'm going to talk about it again. I don't understand how they got kicked out of for their original arena from last year.
Yep.
Didn't have a plan, or sorry, didn't have an approved plan for another one, and we're still here. I hope you know this. I know you know this. In no other city would this happen. First off, in no other league would this happen. This is Bush League, by the way, Bush League.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in what other city would this happen in?
Well, how many other teams or any sort of league have such bad rapport and have had to just run around their state like the Coyotes have?
I don't know. I don't know.
Other stuff per Chris Johnson, Crypto Bro, talking about those paper hands, diamond hands, rocking emojis to the moon. I have to. Per Chris Johnson, Marty Walsh also wants to start talking about the World Cup stuff. Apparently, his mantra is, "We'll deal with the Russian stuff as we get there. Let's just plan it." Thank God.
What does that mean? But I agree we should have one. But what do you mean we're going to deal with it when we get there?
Okay, let's. I
you
think what
have
it
a
means
model.
is let's get the organization. Let's organize this goddamn tournament because the NHL have just continued to push it back. And if when the time comes, if the Russians can participate, they can. If not, that. But I think what he's trying to say is let's not make this sort of hold us back. Because was there not reports of like they wanted to be patient to see what was happening with Russia?
Well, the way I understood it was the European federations were not going to participate if Russia participated. I cannot see how you hold this tournament and not have Alexander Ovechkin, Evgeny Malkin, Kirill Kaprizov, Artemi Panarin, Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin. Like, I can list the names. How do you have a tournament and So many of your best players are in there. I get the situation.
Yeah.
How do you do this?
Well, then it's like, so then here comes this. I will give them leeway for being concerned about this because it's
Sure,
okay. If those European teams choose not to participate, you're choosing between, okay, so I have to try and get Ovi in here,
right?
who is again chasing Wayne Gretzky for the goal record, one of the best goalies, all those players you mentioned, or I may lose out on the European
Yeah, yeah.
players as a
I,
whole.
I
Like it's
agree.
just I get maybe Marty's whole thing is let's at least get it organized, and maybe he's doing the whole new thing of we have time, we use it. I'm not the Russian participation
Uh,
thing. That's just a no one can win that.
I don't think you have time. You had a decade, or how long has it been?
Yeah, what was the last one?
It's
Like,
2023. The last one. Austin Matthews wasn't a Leaf.
yeah, that was before his rookie season, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my god, Druin was a Tampa Bay Lightning, I think.
yeah. Right.
Man,
Like it's been that long. Like, no, time is not on your side, good sir. Every sport is passing you. The MLS is gonna be more popular than you. Like, let's put this into perspective. Formula One in the last 5 years, because Drive to Survive has
yeah,
surpassed you in the United States.
3 races in the States. Like, come on.
Like, what? Time is not of the essence, or time
But
is of
again,
the
that's
essence.
that's just
Sorry.
me saying maybe that's
Oh,
what it is. He didn't say that. I'm just maybe that's what he's thinking of. Like if there's one thing on this docket, I will give any sort of I get it. It's just Russian. Again, the whole tournament as a whole goes beyond him, goes back to Don Fuhr in the NHL.
sure.
For the love of God, I want to watch. Like, Alex, if we don't get like Hockey Canada event that, or sorry, not Hockey Canada, if we don't have a Canadian hockey team that I don't get to see McDavid, McKinnon, and Crosby on the same team, I swear to God, I will lose my mind. We cannot lose the chance to see this happen.
Why can't we have, like, why can't the NHL or someone go, okay, I think it was someone else had suggested this, and I can't remember who. I want to say it was Ray Ferraro, but I could be wrong. A series of games between Canada and the US.
And
Like, that's simple.
you know what's sad, by the way? I just kind of thought about this. If if this World Cup happens in 2025, and let's say it's right before the season starts, Crosby will be like 38, 39.
Mm-hmm. Ovechkin will pass Gretzky by then.
Yeah. He may be retired.
Right. Right.
That's that's actually really sad to think of.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing. Those honestly, and if it gets pushed back another year or two after that, Crosby and Ovechkin will both probably be gone.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not
That's
playing.
so sad. They'll want them to go. Okay. So also, Pierre LeBrun mentioned Marty Walsh is aiming to get more player engagement, and they are having discussions with the players about the playoff format. Now, if the salary cap is your give and go to escrow, I do wonder what is if Bettman does change the playoff format. And God, Alex, I just don't see it happening. But let's entertain the conversation. Say if Bettman is willing to move to 1-8.
Sure.
I am curious because they're not getting a damn thing unless they give something up. What do the players give up? Or what do the league get in exchange for a playoff change? That's what I really want to know.
Um, I mean, there's a couple
A
options.
second team in Phoenix. Winnipeg go
Yeah.
back to Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue. I want to say it was the NHL or Bettman who had like hadn't suggested it, but there was the rumors about the shorter contracts.
Oh,
Going from 8 to something like 5, which the NBA has, which funny enough, copying the
new
NBA.
CBA.
Yeah. No, no. Oh, yeah, that too. But I was just say NHL copying NBA. Where have we seen that before? That's one that comes to mind. I honestly don't know.
Yo, as a fan, low key, I would be perfectly fine with lowering the contract lengths. It's just if Bettman doesn't want to move on the playoffs, I don't know why a player would at all think to give into lowering contracts
Oh,
lengths. Like I
yeah,
just
there's got it's a give and a take.
I hate it. And last thing on the dock, and this is the sort of the most important one. Um, Marty Walsh basically had a quote and talking about that people of the LGBTQ community shouldn't feel sort of non-welcome by NHL players not wearing the jerseys. Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm paraphrasing what he's saying there. I get what he was trying to say. Like, obviously, he can't go and rip players like that. He's the goddamn head of the PA.
Okay.
However, I would like to. What was he like? The former minister? What was he? The former labor, whatever they have. I would like to think of someone who is a politician would maybe have a better worded statement. I get it. That's another thing that I think no matter what he said, there was going to be people going against it. But I just wanted to say, like, man, it just doesn't feel that way though. Could you not have said, listen, I would encourage players to do this, do that? Because saying that they shouldn't feel that way. Again, I don't think he's telling people how to feel. I think he's just trying to express, listen, don't look at these players. Maybe let's look at the majority who are trying to wear it. I don't know the exact numbers because some teams haven't even done the Pride Night. But man, like I've seen fans on Twitter and that and of that community who are legit like affected by the lack of these jerseys being worn and all that and how they don't feel welcome. It just that whole thing left a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know if he could have really come out with a W on that one, to be honest with you. But
Probably not. It
but
was a
I he could have
tough.
been better though.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I think I don't. There was going to be something said regardless of what and how he said it. And yeah, he probably could have phrased it a little bit better. Um, but I don't know. I think we've made our thoughts pretty clear on the whole thing. I don't know what else to add.